Hello, my name is Cinthya Quijano and I'm the director of Change Differently. Welcome to today's video blog. Today's topic is the not-so future of work, the digital connectivity and collaboration space. So obviously I've named my video blog the not-so future of work because it's already happening. The workplace is already changing. There's a lot of us that actually live in a gig economy already. So we're doing more than one side gig on top of our probably job or companies. And if you look at it, the generations that are starting to do this more and more are both millennials and Gen X's as well. So possibly all due to kind of either trying to work a bit more remotely, so whether they're on a full-time job but asking to work from home for a day or two so they can either look after their elderly parents or their kids. A lot more people are liking to have this little flexibility within their life and their workspace. So how do we get the most out of people? How do we collaborate and how do we keep that kind of culture and that vibe going as well? So the digital world is great, which is why I decided to do a video blog instead of a post for this actual topic. Is this there's so many tools out there that we can use. So as an organization, what you really need to decide is how is it going to be best to communicate with people? So I was at a conference once where some of the BT engineers were talking, and it was actually BT talking a little bit more about their engineers. And they said that actually they created this whole Facebook group and gave everybody like a digital iPad because obviously they're out and about and people wanted to like obviously share tips and hints and tips on what, if they found something, they could fix it straight away. And it's just a magnificent little tool for them. And somebody asked, I remember in the audience, but how do you know they're not sharing things like they shouldn't be, like their lunch and things like that? And the BT person was great. They were saying like they do, but at the same time, that creates a bit of a culture and a vibe and that rapport you need. So again, it's just like, you know, when you're at work and you have your friends from work or there's people you get along with, you want to still create that same culture, that same environment in the digital remote space. There's now companies that are completely remotely. So there's no real offices. There's probably some virtual offices, and everybody does work from home or co-working spaces, and everybody's just basically laptop based. And obviously, for trust to be created, there needs to be still some face-to-face time. So people are using things like Zoom, Skype, GoToMeeting, all these wonderful apps that already exist, and some companies are even creating their own ways. Now, the thing with that is obviously choosing what's right for you and for your culture. Obviously, if you have a really strict social media policy, it might not work, just saying. You might need to look into that because as the world evolves, more and more people are going to be doing things that need to be done remotely. Also, for example, if your company doesn't allow certain websites and you end up buying a tool off the shelf, that might cause a bit of issues. So you want to make sure that you're not just fostering collaboration, you're also fostering that connectivity, but that it goes deeper. So I'll give you an example, right? Most of us have LinkedIn or have Facebook. So let's think about LinkedIn. You connect with a couple people and then some people ask to join your network. So you say yes or no. How many of your connections have you really connected with? How many have you ever talked with? How many have you shared a bit of a discussion with? To be connected is not to have a connection. So what you want to really create in the workplace is an actual connection. So whether you're using Yammer, whether you're using Slack, all these platforms are great as long as you decide what works for you. Also, in the terms of collaboration, you need to have enough tools within your workplace that'll be able to handle that. So where are your shared files going to be? So I was currently with a client and we were chatting about this because actually they use Google Docs, which is great, but sometimes you forget that actually some of the folders are shared, or people don't really know. So obviously when you're migrating things like that, you have to make sure that people still have access to things. If you're going to use Google Drive, that's great. You have to think a little bit around security. So using Google for Business, that's kind of all the same, using cloud system, or if you're going to have your own server as well. So all of that's really good, but you have to have the tools. So there's also companies that just don't have any of that and you're still working remotely. So where does everything kind of go? Everybody has duplicates of files and it just gets a lot messier. So it's having the tools as well. And how collaboration is going to work is with face-to-face time, whether that is going to be through video conferencing, Skype, maybe a WhatsApp group, All these things are going to create that. But what you really need to create is that really clear communication. What are the channels? Is it going to be an app? Are we going to develop an app separately? But most of all, it's culture. So you need to have your values already there. If you're a traditional company that used to work 9 to 5 and you're going to be moving more into the digital remote flexi working space, you need to be able to gradually do that, and you need to be able to know exactly how you're going to migrate your culture as well. So that's something I would really, really encourage you to do. A lot of people think, oh, it's great, we'll develop this app, we'll engage employees, we'll do all our surveys through there. But it's also not about that. It's obviously data. We need to know what we want to use it for. So again, make sure that the solution is right for you. And the more, actually, my focus on connectivity a lot has to do because actually to create that culture of collaboration, you need to have trust and you need to build rapport and you need to build relationships. So even though we're living in a digital remote world, we want to create that. So make sure that you're still being yourself. You are just being yourself on screen and being able to collaborate that way. A lot of applications also have really cool things that you can sketch, you can do, you can record. So there's always this nice kind of continuity building as well. So the not so future work is going to be digital. A lot of us would prefer to work flexible around our lives instead of our lives working around work. So more and more companies will have to adapt to these things. Are you ready? Have you thought about it? Have you thought about it beyond, it would be so cool to have that, but actually I'm not really sure how to work. I'll tell you that I've been able to help quite a lot of companies do that because it is more about engaging people, creating a lot of things that are user design. So think of that nice IT term, user design. It basically means engaging your employees from the start of any of these kind of new design processes, what the policies are going to be for flexible working, how you're going to actually create that flexibility around your social media. Because that actually can work really, really well in your favor the more flexible you can be. And it also means that as an employee, you have a lot more opportunities to kind of stretch yourself as well. Because it's going to take a lot of learning to actually understand that, especially if you're working across cultures as well. I remember doing a lot of work in one of my past jobs where we used to work very close to France and Germany and a lot of the other European countries because we were working on a European project. And it was building that report before the call or after the call or through email, which now, if I think about what it was then and what it's now, I could imagine so much more doing things on video conferencing, actually being able to know what the person looked like. And it just would have probably been a lot different, but it's always been that basis, creating relationships to be able to collaborate. So in the not so new world of work, all we need to do is just kind of repeat. So whether you're really okay with technology or you're not, you don't have to be perfect. All you have to do is kind of try. And as a company, that's the same thing. You just need to try. You need to learn by baby steps. But don't go diving all in. Choose one and work your way up would be my best advice. It's great to have been with you. This is the July video blog. Lots of love from Cinthya from Change Differently. Bye.